Hello and welcome to Time of Death. I'm Ris.
And I'm Dee.
And
Hello.
hello and welcome to another exciting, engaging, enchanting episode.
Do you know this is Ris' second time because the first one didn't have enough energy?
Yeah, I need to change my energy on the first take.
Your vibe was off.
My
You gotta
vibe was
align
off.
your chakras.
Yeah, they're aligned now, so I'm good. If you are new here, welcome. We're two nurses that love talking true crime. We like to focus on cases that have a heavy medical influence to them, or cases that feature a medical professional as a perpetrator or victim. I just want to give a quick disclaimer. The case we're going to be talking about today, these are our own feelings and opinions based on our own research. So without further ado,
Get it?
yeah. Today we are going to be talking about a very popular case. We are going to be talking about confusing and deeply controversial abuse case, the one of Natalia Grace. Was she a child in need of love, or was she a con artist pretending to be one? Was she the real life orphan from that movie about that girl who ended up killing, I think, the dad?
Yeah.
And what really happened behind closed doors in the Barnett home? Let's talk about it. So, Natalia Grace was born on September 4th, 2003 in Mykolaiv, Ukraine. She was diagnosed with a medical condition called spondylophyseal. Hold on, let me try it one more time.
Stroke check. Is that the word? Stroke?
Stroke alert?
Stroke alert? Is it stroke check?
Stroke check?
So you know I'm not medical anymore.
It's called spondyloepiphyseal.
Let me try. I'm curious. Spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia.
Epiphyseal. So either way, that's the first word. And then dysplasia congenita, also known as SEDC. It's a rare genetic disorder that impacts bone growth, and it usually affects the growth in the spine and the ends of long bones. It's usually present at birth. Usually it is caused by mutations in the COL2A1 gene, and this gene is responsible for making a type of collagen that's important for cartilage development and bone development. It's usually autosomal dominant, meaning that one mutated copy of the gene from either mom or dad, from either parent, can cause the condition. Some cases do, however, just occur randomly without any known genetic history. So these patients can have a short stature. They can have like a shorter trunk compared to their lower half. They can have delayed bone growth and abnormal curvature of the spine. So they can have scoliosis or lordosis as well. They also can have flattened vertebrae, hip deformities. These patients can have a earlier onset of arthritis. They can have issues with their walking or gait. They can have joint pain, stiffness. These patients can also have visual changes like nearsightedness. They are more prone to have retinal detachment. They can also have hearing issues as well. Based on like clinical exam, x-rays, and genetic testing is how this condition is diagnosed. Usually it is diagnosed early in life. It can be done during prenatal testing, and there is no cure, but the treatment is really like symptom management. So surgery for any hip or joint spine issues, physical therapy, correcting any sensory deficits like hearing aids, glasses, and managing pain is a big one as well, because these patients can have a lot of pain. So in 2008, Natalia was adopted by a couple, Diane and Gary Ciccione. I don't know if I said that right. They're from New Hampshire, and she was with them for a little bit, but they ended up giving her back to the adoption agency in 2010. They said that she had some behavioral issues that they weren't prepared for. So they sent her back, and in that same year, she was adopted once more by Christine and Michael Barnett, the couple from Indiana. They have 3 kids. Just a quick little side note. When she came to the U.S. from Ukraine, Natalia underwent a comprehensive medical assessment at Children's Hospital in Boston. Dr. David Harris, he was like a pediatric doctor. He diagnosed Natalia with kyphosis, and this is like a abnormal curvature in the spine. And another doctor identified musculoskeletal problems, including hip dysplasia, club feet, and muscle and knee contractures. She also was diagnosed with scoliosis, and the scoliosis was pretty severe. It wasn't really managed well with any bracing, like, as Dee, you know, usually we do for scoliosis.
Yes, from ages... How long?
I don't know.
Well, for majority of my childhood, I wore a back brace. Along with braces.
Yeah.
Orthodontic braces. It was really had to be straightened out.
Do you want to tell about a little bit about scoliosis and what your experience was like?
Picture it. 2002. Was it 2002, Mom? Okay, picture it. 2005. I was in 5th grade, and the school nurse is doing their yearly scoliosis checks, and I'm probably dating myself because they may not even do that anymore. But I had to touch my toes, and they would look at your spine. And I was just like, something ain't right. And so I was referred to the local children's hospital, where they diagnosed me with scoliosis. When scoliosis, if you don't know, it is curvatures of the spine, but not like curvatures that actually enhance your curves. This one is the one that just makes you look off balance.
What enhances your curves?
Lordosis makes you have a big butt.
Lordosis is a curvature. Everyone correct me if I'm wrong, and I didn't look this up recently, but I remember in nursing school, I remembered lordosis because, oh Lord, you got a big butt. Because it's like a curvature in your lower back.
A lot of pregnant people get lordosis. See, look. Why couldn't I have gotten this one? I had to get the one that makes one side of my body higher than the other. So I wore a back brace for several years. I think until I got my period. So anyways, that was my experience with scoliosis. It was not glamorous having to wear a back brace at night. Thankfully, I did not have to wear it all the time. But I'll tell you, waking up in the middle of the night to go pee and having to take your back brace off is a truly humbling experience.
Could you walk with it on?
I had to get off the top bunk bed.
This was too hard to get off
the top bunk bed with my back brace on.
It was a very large, like, hard shell brace. Remember?
I had everybody at karate sign it. I was like, Dad, you guys want to sign my back brace? And yeah, I had a karate figurine on it. And then I outgrew that one, and I got a tie-dye one.
I remember your tie-dye one so vividly.
Yeah, I remember. I think I did something with them. I should have kept them. But yeah, that's the scoop. That was my but not for nothing. Apparently it did not correct the couple of degrees that I thought it did. But for years I told people it helps correct a couple degrees off the curvature of my but it's just, something to keep in mind, but I don't want to detract from your case with my anecdotal ramblings.
Well, thank you for that input. Anyway, so let's get back to our story. These evaluations were all documented in Natalia's medical records, which were available to the Ciccione, I still don't know if I said that right, and Barnett families. And medical records around this time in 2010 suggested she was about 6 or 7 years old. This case just goes pretty haywire, and the Barnetts, soon after they get her, start claiming that she was an adult that was actually posing as a child. And this just leads to a lot of turmoil and devastation and legal and personal issues. So the Barnetts quickly claimed that Natalia was violent after getting her in 2010. Christine, the mom, said that Natalia tried to push her into an electric fence, that she poured bleach into her coffee, that she would like stand over them with knives, like holding knives at nighttime. They said that they thought she was older than her actual age because she was menstruating and also was kind of disguising how old she really was. Christine says that she was a sociopath and that what they did and how they disciplined Natalia was normal, and it was really like over dramatized by the media. On the other hand, Natalia claims that she suffered abuse at the hands of the Barnetts. She says that Christine pepper sprayed her for not knowing like high school level physics problems and that she beat her with a belt. Natalia said that a lot of the times she would be in severe pain, which was left untreated by the Barnetts because remember, she does have this chronic disease that can give her significant pain. She also said that Christine forced her to dress up as a gnome and stand in a fixed pose for hours. So Natalia says that Christine like made her use a tampon when she was 7, even though she had not started menstruating yet. And Natalia thinks she did this to kind of support that claim that she was much older than she actually was. Natalia also believes that Christine intentionally administered like excess meds in an attempt to have her OD. She would feel really groggy and disoriented after receiving meds from Christine at times, is what she said. Natalia also says that she was mentally abused by Christine as well. She was told that she was evil, that she was dangerous. There are also reports that Christine told doctors and neighbors that Natalia was trying to kill them or was mentally unstable. And this just further ostracized Natalia. And Michael Barnett, the husband, says that he agrees with Natalia's claims, and he says that Christine encouraged their 3 sons to beat Natalia as a form of discipline. And he also says that Christine manipulated him and mistreated him as well as Natalia. And I'm pretty sure they're divorced now. Christine denies all allegations of abuse. So just a couple timeline stuff here. In 2010, Christine takes Natalia to see Dr. Andrew Riggs, and he's an endocrinologist. And Dr. Riggs says that Natalia is about 9 to 11 years old at this time based on his medical exam. In 2011, Dr. Tim Gosweiler, a dentist, he sees Natalia as well, takes an x-ray of her teeth and sees that she has 12 baby teeth. And he ages her like 6 to 9 years old. Christine, I guess, left the appointment with the dentist with documentation that said Natalia was about 8 to 9 years old at this time. In 2012, the Barnetts petitioned the Indiana court to change Natalia's birth year from 2003 to 1989. So instead of 8 or 9, they're putting down that she was 22. And this is approved. There was like no medical, as far as I could see, no medical like clearance to do this. Like it didn't require any medical like sign off. And in 2013, they end up moving to Canada and they leave Natalia in an Indiana apartment in Lafayette with no like oversight, no adult supervision. And no one's caring for her. She's just kind of taking care of herself. After this, she's cared for by neighbors, and then she enters the foster care system. In 2013, Christine actually publishes a book called The Spark, a mother's story of nurturing genius. And this book is focused on her son, Jacob, and Jacob has autism. And he's a very smart kid and very successful. And she talks about his like intellectual success and her own approach to helping him develop his skills. In 2019, there are charges filed against the Barnetts for child neglect. However, Michael Barnett was acquitted in 2022, and in 2023, charges against Christine were dismissed. In August of 2023, Natalia underwent an DNA test done by True Diagnostic, and the results estimated her age to be approximately 22 years old at that time. So in 2023, she was about 22 years old on the DNA test. Not, so that would make sense for her real birth year to be 2000, in the early 2000s. And so this would indicate that she was about 9 years old when she was adopted by the Barnetts in 2010. Natalia expresses that this result disproves the Barnett's claims, and it validated her as well to say, okay, this was my true age. Also, Natalia Grace's mom, her biological mom, Anna Vladimirovna Gava, has provided information as well about Natalia. In 2019, a DNA test said that there was a 99.999% match between Anna and Natalia. Anna said that she was born in Latvia on April 20th, 1979, and then moved to the Ukraine, and she ended up giving birth to Natalia on September 4th, 2003 in Ukraine. And she ended up putting her in orphanage because of her complex medical conditions. So she was bounced between foster homes afterward and finally landed with Antoine and Cynthia Mans. And they had actually been looking after her for about 10 years at this point, and they officially adopted her in June of 2023. Natalia had her boyfriend, Neil, from the United Kingdom, and they disapproved of the relationship that the two of them had. And so they started limiting Natalia's internet access, allegedly. And also witnesses, allegedly, including neighbors and friends, have alleged that the Mans physically abused Natalia. They said that she was whipped, slapped, and they also said that she was locked in a room. So she leaves the Mans and moves in with Nicole and Vincent DePaul. And this is a couple, they have dwarfism, and they had attempted to adopt her in the past. And so she moves to New York to live with them. Natalia has since opened up about her struggles with PTSD, ADHD, and severe anxiety from her years of abandonment and trauma. So where is Natalia now? She is living in New York still. She is seeking medical treatment for her health issues, and she actually wants to go into education to become a teacher. She is working also to reverse the age change to her true age, because it still is incorrect, and set the record straight. Natalia in this whole case have been the center of a lot of media coverage. This case was featured in the Curious Case of Natalia Grace and A Good American Family. I watched A Good American Family. I'm currently catching up on the episodes. I've got like a couple left. I think like the newest episode is available tonight. Anyway, so if you're interested, you could check those out.
Is it Paramount?
Huh?
Is it on Paramount?
Hulu.
Hulu.
That one's available on Hulu. Christine also wrote a book called Witch Hunt, the Christine Barnett story, where she talks about her side of the story. Anyway, I was really confused when I was looking online. Like, I know it was shared a lot on Facebook about Natalia, and a lot of people are saying, like, oh, she's like the real life orphan. Like, oh, she was lying about her age. Like, she was posing as a child. And when you look more into this case, no, that was not the case at all. She's, there's DNA tests that prove she wasn't.
I think people forget the significance of trauma. The physical trauma, sexual trauma, emotional trauma, perceived abandonment. The trauma is a really complex concept, but also it has such a significant impact on so much of our personality structuring, thought processes, how we relate to other people. It has such a distinct impact on us. And I think recognizing that this person went through a significant amount of trauma, especially at such a young age in her formative years, that's going to have some really serious consequences. So I think being gracious and acknowledging that is important, as well as validating her experience. So when I say that Natalia had all this trauma, it would make sense for her to, have those mental health conditions that were mentioned. Poor thing went through a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, being paraded around as a garden gnome is just horrific. Having your medications administered incorrectly, even if it was inadvertently, being physically and forced to shove tampons up your anatomy, being exposed to what Natalia has been exposed to at such a young age, no wonder there's a lot of resentment. And then not only to have abuse in that family dynamic, but subsequent abusive relationships. So let's acknowledge the significant trauma that this young woman went through.
I know it can be very challenging to raise kids, and especially when you have kids who have special needs or behavioral issues. So I understand, that can be very frustrating, but anyway, but you still need to understand that you're caring for a child. They're developmentally not
able to handle things in an adult way.
They're not capable of processing things or decisions like adults can. So she was, at the end of the day, she was a child based on the DNA results that were done and her mom's, own testament. But it's just, it's a complicated case. People I always see online, oh, was she really older or was she a child? And people are still, I think, confused about it.
And Bryce, you bring up a great point. She was a kid left alone at 8 years old in an apartment by herself.
Yeah.
That's just horrible. That's abusive. That's negligence. That's neglect. That's horrific. And, it's so sad to think that this little girl had to navigate that all on her own.
Anyway, that's it for tonight. We are going to wrap up. The time is 2018. That is 8:18 for those of you who do not use military time. We are checking out, and we'll see you here next week. If you enjoyed our case today, feel free to rate, review, subscribe, share us with your family, friends, random people on the internet.
Leave us a comment.
Leave us a comment. Oh, yes, leave us a comment.
Write us a letter.
Or give us a suggestion for our next case.
Excellent.
Feedback. We love feedback.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.